The Silent Forest Part 3. The listener's gift. Ethan never spoke again after that morning. He drove until the van ran out of fuel, then walked until his legs gave out. Days bled together. Towns, faces, hospitals, police questions. He told them everything, but no one believed him. Exhaustion, they said. Exposure. Only Ethan knew the truth. The Silent Forest wasn't a place. It was alive, and it had followed him. The recording months passed. He tried to rebuild his life. Got a new apartment, a job, therapy. The doctors called his condition selective mutism. His voice worked, but he refused to use it. Every time he tried, the air around him trembled, as if something waited for the sound. One night, he decided to face it. He dug out the old camera, the same one he had found in the van. He pressed play. The footage was static at first, then the familiar image of trees appeared. For a moment, nothing happened. Then faintly through the static, he heard Rachel's voice. "He's still listening." Ethan's breath hitched. On the screen, Rachel's face appeared. Pale, dirt-streaked, eyes wide. "We're not gone," she whispered. "He needs more." The silence is hungry. Her lips moved again, forming a word without sound. Ethan leaned close, trying to read them. She mouthed, "Soon." Then the screen went black. The knock. That night, Ethan woke to a soft tap, tap, tap at his window. 3 slow, 2 quick. His blood froze. He pulled the curtains aside. Nothing. Just the city lights below, rain sliding down the glass. He turned back toward his bed and saw the black stone lying on his pillow, the same one Maya had held in the tent. He hadn't brought it with him. It pulsed faintly, as if breathing. When he picked it up, the air went still. The hum of the fridge stopped. The traffic outside vanished. The world fell completely, perfectly silent. And in that silence, a voice spoke inside his head. "You carried me out." The return. The next morning, Ethan packed everything and drove west. He didn't tell anyone where he was going. He knew. The forest was calling him home. He reached the old road by dusk. The trees were thicker now, the air heavy with mist. He parked by the rusted gate and stepped out. The moment his foot touched the soil, all sounds ceased. Even his heartbeat went still. The forest remembered him. He followed the overgrown path deeper, past fallen branches and half-buried stones. His breath steamed in the cold air. Every few steps he saw flickers of movement, shapes that melted into the mist when he turned his head. At last he reached the clearing where they had camped. The tents were gone, but the ashes of the fire still marked the ground. And there, in the center, lay the diary Rachel had kept. Its pages were blank except for one line written in fresh ink. "He waits beneath the roots." The descent. The earth trembled beneath him. A low moan rose from below. Not wind, not animal, but the forest itself breathing. The soil split open, revealing a hollow tunnel leading into the dark. Ethan gripped the stone and stepped inside. The air grew thick, heavy, almost liquid. The walls pulsed faintly, covered in slick veins that seemed to hum with life. The deeper he went, the louder the heartbeat became. Not his own, but something vast, ancient. He reached a chamber lit by hundreds of candles. At its center stood a tree, massive, black, its roots twisting deep into the ground. Faces bulged beneath its bark, eyes opening and closing slowly, and from between the roots, something rose. The listener. The listener's face. It wasn't human, though it once might have been. Its form shifted constantly, built from shadows and the faint outlines of people. Rachel, Maya, Tyler, all flickering within it. When it spoke, the sound came from everywhere and nowhere, vibrating through Ethan's bones. "You brought back my voice." Ethan clutched the black stone. "Let them go," he whispered, though the words didn't leave his lips. They existed only in thought. "They are free," the voice answered. "They are silence now. But you are noise, and I am hungry." The ground shook. The candles flared. The faces in the bark began to scream, but there was no sound. Only the sensation of screaming, felt rather than heard. The listener reached toward him. and the stone in his hand burned white hot. Ethan dropped to his knees. Take it, he thought. Take me. End this. But the listener hesitated. No, it said slowly. A gift must be given, not taken. The gift. The stone cracked in two. Inside, a faint light shimmered. Not white, not gold, but something that looked like sound made visible. It pulsed with every heartbeat Ethan had left. He understood then. The listener fed on silence because that was all it knew. But if it could hear again, truly hear, maybe it would end. He lifted the glowing shard to his lips and took a breath. For the first time in months, he spoke aloud. Listen to me. The sound shattered the air. It wasn't just a word. It was everything he'd ever felt. Grief, terror, love, guilt. It echoed through the chamber, bouncing off the walls, splitting the tree open from within. The listener screamed, a sound so deep it tore the silence apart. The faces in the bark vanished in a burst of light. The forest convulsed. And then, quiet. True quiet. Not the devouring kind, but the stillness that follows peace. The morning after Ethan woke lying on soft moss, the sky above was pale and cloudless. Birds sang. Real birds. The forest was gone. He sat up, trembling. The black stone lay beside him, now dull and lifeless. When he looked at his reflection in a puddle, he saw something strange. His lips were moving, but no sound came out. The silence had taken his voice, but not his mind. He smiled faintly. It was enough. He left the forest behind, never looking back. Epilogue. Years later, hikers found the clearing. They said it felt peaceful, though sometimes, if you listen closely, you could hear faint echoes beneath the wind. Not whispers, not screams. Just a man's voice, soft and steady, repeating 3 words over and over. Don't lose sound. They called it the listener's gift, and no one ever entered the silent forest again. Can avoid the silent forest.